We sit down and we see, I'm going to say all this incorrectly, bronco busting, barrel racing, whatever it is, right? And then we get to that, I'll call the halftime show. And we're all inspired. My kids can't believe this is so much fun. And they have that event at the halftime where all the little kids come out and they do mutton busting. You know what I'm talking about? Where they tame the sheep, and the sheep are mean. Who knew, right? And so they get about, the parents volunteer their kids, and what are they? They're like 5 or 6 or 6 or 7 years old. They're little. And they've got those hockey helmets on, so they look like little bobbleheads going out there, getting ready to like go wrestle those sheep. Well, of course, the announcer comes out, and his name, I swear it was Bobby. It's either Bobby or Jimmy. It's always one of those, right? And he comes out to the middle of the arena, and he looks at the crowd, and my kids are on the edge of their seats. And he says, looks at the kids, says, "I'd like to introduce you to the future of America." And everyone just, loses their mind. They start clapping. And he looks at the kids and says, "Are you ready to ride some sheep?" And they're all kind of nervous, and they don't do anything. And he looks at them and says, "Well, how many of you here are from this country?" And most of them raised their hands. And he said, "Well, which one of you are not from this country?" 3 kids raised their hands. And this was adorable. So, he saunters over, he's got his big hat, his big buckle, his big belly, his big boots, and he walks over to the first kid, and he gets down low, because, obviously they're a little nervous. And he says, "How you doing?" And there was a little girl, she's very nervous. And he said, "Where are you from?" And she was from Buenos Aires. And he said, "Well, we're really glad to have you here." And he goes over to the second child and asks how he's doing. He's great. "Where are you from?" And he was from Calgary. And he said, "Well, we're really glad to have you here. You know a bit about rodeos, I'm sure." And he goes down to the third child who's on the end, and it's a boy. And he is chomping at the bit to talk to Bobby. He's so excited. And of course, he gets down to the child, and he looks at him, and he says, "Well, how y'all doing?" And the little boy says, "Sir, I'm good." And he looks at him and says, "You're not from this country?" And he says, "No, sir, I'm not." And he said, "Well, where are y'all from?" And the little boy looks at him and says, "Sir, I'm from Texas." Oh my God.